Hey, what's up, y'all? And welcome back to another special edition of Finalize. Look, y'all know what we do here. We analyzing these NBA finals, and it's been an outstanding one thus far, to say the least. And I'm accompanied here today with a special guest. Coach, can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
How you doing, Coach Cooke? From Northern Virginia Community College, the head coach of the women's basketball program. I've been over there for 5 years. I've been the head coach over there for 4 years. Previously, I was over at College of Southern Maryland down in Charles County. So now I'm up here trying to do my thing in Northern Virginia.
Awesome. So, Coach, we could take it back briefly. I've heard sweeps, what's going to happen.
Right.
We've heard it was a one and done, with Jimmy's magnificent performance, for 40. And LeBron responded and almost validated, exactly what his fans were speaking on. And here Miami go again. They can't go home. So as you're watching that game unfold, what were you thinking? Because I know I was going crazy. I was going, one moment I was here, I was there, I was everywhere. Yeah. And then when it ended the way it ended, how did you walk away from that one?
Man, as it was going on, I was like, okay, he gonna put it out, and it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
But then he did, he got typical. He does that all the time. And so I went back and I was like, if you're gonna compare him to somebody that's supposed to be the greatest of all time going to take the lead. He is not going to leave it up into anybody's hands. And I'm not a LeBron hater. I like the way he play. I love the way he play. He's a good player, great player, if I can say. I just think that he should have took the last shot. If you're going to be considered the greatest of all time, you have to take that last shot. It has to fall on your shoulders. I mean, if anybody else would have did that, kicked the ball out, is expected. But with him, I knew he was going to finish, and then I was like, I wasn't even surprised. I wasn't surprised. Typical.
So,
and I hate to use that word, but it was typical.
Oh man, and that as I seen it unfold, that didn't even come to mind. But when I got up this morning and seen all the storylines, it brought me back to, oh man, this is something that people been saying about LeBron for a long time. So
exactly,
if we can go a little deeper into that, let me ask this: did he not make the right basketball
play
coach
for a star? Yeah, I'm still here. He made the right basketball play for a star. For a superstar, you take that shot. That's just my opinion. For a star, yeah. For a superstar, you take the shot.
So a superstar, you got the green light to take a bad shot at the end of the game.
Of course. You got to take all the shots at the end of the game. That's how I look at it.
Hey, that's
what I'm saying?
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair because when you think about it as a coach, right? You'll rather lose with your best player taking that shot than probably win with your average or below average player taking that shot. But
exactly.
My only thing with that whole deal with LeBron is this: if Danny Green makes that shot, what are we saying about LeBron then?
This almost probably the same thing we were saying about Ray Allen. I mean, I'm not gonna say Ray Allen bailed LeBron out. I ain't saying that. That was part of the game. I mean, it was a good pass. Even when he passed it to Ray Allen, I still think he should have took the last shot. That's just my opinion. I mean, if you're the face of the franchise, then I would expect for you to take that shot. But LeBron's not that type of player to me. He fit the mold of a Magic Johnson. He's a distributor. you know, get everybody in the right places, get the team going, get them moving.
Yeah.
He's I wouldn't say he lacks instinct, but his killer instinct is a little bit low, you know, compared to some of the other ones that we compare him against. But he right up there with him.
Yeah. I think naturally he's probably the most talented ever, just naturally. You know, like he was almost gifted an athlete, like the way he was just built and everything was as an athlete. He could have played probably any sport he wanted to.
Right.
Been successful, you know.
Exactly.
But when I look deeper into that game, right, Coach, you had guys like Dwight Howard, 2 points,
Dwight
two
Howard.
rebounds,
Yeah.
15 minutes on the floor.
Yeah.
And it gets worse, Coach. I'm looking at this. Markieff Morris, 23 minutes, 0 points. 23 minutes, 0 points. You know, and you had, what was it, maybe six Heat players in double figures, and the Lakers only had 3 players in double figures. I think guys really left LeBron really hanging, you know, last night. You know, just the overall performance. I think they left him hanging a bit because that killer instinct, I felt like he had it last night. You know, he seemed like he was on a mission to get it done last night. You seen the back and forth with him and Jimmy that went on in that fourth quarter. To me, LeBron wanted to get it done, you know, and you can see it. But with that lack of help, I mean, what can you say about that, Coach?
Sometimes I think, I'm not saying for those guys, this is just my opinion, that they was looking like they were being carried. You know, it's almost like they was being carried instead of contributing. You know, so they didn't look good. It didn't for 23 minutes. And I know a lot of people out here gonna say, "Oh, if I had 23 minutes, I can get 2 points." It's hard to get anything in the NBA because you're playing against super talented guys. But at the same time, like, I mean, I was trying to look at it as a fan perspective and not, you know, coaching behind the TV. But sometimes it's like they was being carried, like, you know, where we're gonna get a ball, LeBron, he gonna get us a bucket, because we know LeBron can get 40, and we know AD can get 40. So it's like they was just saying, okay, we're gonna play in the background, you know, just get the ball to those guys. Some guys, I mean, and like I said, I'm not talking about them. I mean, they just didn't step up and play their role. Even though if you got a role to play, you got to be a contributor, you know, because just like when Dennis was with the Bulls, he was grabbing about 19 points. I mean, 19 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
On both sides of the floor. So that was his contribution. You know, if you're not going to score, then they could have played better defense. They played okay, but like you said, 23 minutes and 0 points, you supposed to, and you getting paid good money. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and with Dwight Howard, he used to be an elite superstar. He just kind of disappeared. He just 7 feet now. So I'm like, I couldn't believe it was him. I'm like, come on, man. It's somehow you got to say to yourself, all right, I'm 7 feet. I used to dominate. Let me start dominating to get me a ring.
And speaking of Dwight Howard, right? Because I'm a little baffled of Dwight Howard.
Aren't we all?
I know I'm not the only one seeing this, but Dwight Howard is I don't even want to say borderline cocky. He's coming off very cocky as a role player, right? Almost as he's playing the muscle man role. When Dwight Howard was an elite player, he didn't have that type of attitude. He was actually more of a humble player. Do you think that's more of his character now because he's on a good team? Or do you think he's just trying to fulfill a role, you know, to help his team become maybe a dynasty?
Yeah, I think he more so fulfilling a role because when he was with Orlando, he was scoring. I
Yeah.
mean, he was making the All-Star games, and now he just don't look like himself. I mean, he don't even. I can't even recall if I saw him call for the ball. Because I mean, actually, if he started getting, I say if he contributed 10 or 12 points, game be over.
Oh yeah.
If he contribute 10 or 12 points, game be over. Because then they have to stop AD, and AD step down. If you got somebody that big shooting threes, then you got somebody that big rebounding, finishing at the rim, and you got LeBron that's going to do everything, man, that would be a sweep. That would be a sweep.
Great.
But I think he kind of just like settling in and just letting everybody else do the work. And he another one, not contributing, being carried. Double C. A double C. You gonna contribute or you gonna be carried. And
Oh
he like he being carried too. And and that's just my opinion. I ain't saying nothing bad about the guy
yeah.
because he a good player, but he just didn't do it last night. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. 2 points, 2 rebounds. I feel like you said, 7 feet. He's still athletic, so he's not
Yeah, yeah.
he's not a stagnant big. You know, he's not a stiff big.
Nah.
He's an athletic big.
Yeah,
So
he still can move.
to me, you know,
Hmm.
that team, and you know they're the longest team in the league. You know,
Yeah,
they're the longest. You know, so he should be at minimum 10 rebounds a game, in my opinion.
right.
You know,
Yeah. But Miami got that desire.
they do.
And
They
so
do.
I'm looking at it as I saw, I think I'm gonna move inside for the little drill. As they was playing last night when I was watching, I was like, Miami, they fighting. They're a smaller dog, but they still fighting. And and that's what's gonna. I'm not saying they can win it if they continue to play like that. But
Yeah.
LA, just because I don't know if LA think because they bigger, they gonna be able to get them out the way, but that ain't gonna work. They're gonna have to figure something out. And all those other guys gonna have to contribute. They just gonna like we said, they're gonna have to do the double C. You know, don't be carried. Go out there and contribute. And that's how it's gotta be.
Oh,
You know.
I agree. And
Yep.
and you mentioned AD, right?
Hmm.
Now, you know, obviously, man, AD went down with the injury last night, and it didn't look good.
Yeah, the heel was
All the way through it, you know, after that happened, his energy, everything was just kind of off.
yeah.
Can the Lakers, hypothetically, because I'm hoping that he comes, we don't want to see nobody walk off the finals like that.
Yeah.
Can't play. But hypothetically, if AD can't return, can the Lakers
Mhm.
finish this job without him?
I think they can finish the job without, but that's when you had those other players that we named earlier. They have to do more. You can't be on the floor for 23 minutes getting 0 points. You can't be on the floor as a big man getting 2 points and 2 rebounds. They have to step up because, like you said, they are the bigger team. Even with AD out, they still bigger. But
Yeah.
they have to, like when you have to go out there and make yourself dominant, you have to push your will on them. And that's what the Lakers not doing. They not pushing, they not having, their will is not being used. They not doing it right.
And see
It
that,
seems like they just getting along.
yeah, and see that's questionable for me. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
that's why early on when it looked like the Lakers had their foot on their throat, right? I couldn't,
Yeah.
I still couldn't say, yeah, the Lakers got this, it's over. Because
Right.
I'm trying to figure out, is Miami too much of fighters for the
Mm.
Lakers? You know, we know the talent, we know what the talent is.
Yeah.
We know that's with LA. We know that. We know the sides is with LA. But the
Mm-hmm.
dog seems to be with Miami.
Yeah.
It's no other
And
way that they, how did they even get 2 games? It's the
one,
dog.
yeah, Jimmy Butler,
Yeah,
that kid from Kentucky. I can't even think of my man name right now with the dreads. They hustling.
yeah,
That's all. And because at the beginning of the game, LA had the lead, and then after a while, remember, LA went down 11. They made a run,
right.
and then Miami went back up around about 9, LA made a little run. But the thing of it is, every time they punched, Miami punched right back. And that's what happened at the end.
Yeah.
You know, like they say, we all got a fighter's chance, but LA just didn't close it out. So if they don't do better Sunday, it's going to be another game.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that AD plays, man, because I feel like they may be in deep trouble if AD doesn't play, because to me, every time the times they did win, and Miami fought probably every game the same way.
Right. Yeah.
Once the LA pulled out, AD played a major role in escaping. You know,
right.
So I just don't see the other guys being as consistent, you know, to help LeBron get over that hump.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. Speaking of guys being hurt, now Gordon Dragic, hope I'm saying his name correctly.
Yeah.
Now, if Gordon comes back, because he's still questionable.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does that throw the other guards off rhythm for Miami, or does he get in where he fit in and he's just going to help the ball roll the way it's rolling for them? What do you think happens if he comes back?
You know, I don't know his mindset, but if he's a true ball player, he's going to step in and do what he had to do to help the team. Because if he step in and try to be an individual, then that's going to hurt him. But if he's stepping in and trying to, you know, keep the pot brewing, and then it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, you know, because I've had players that come in off an injury and they was like, hey, I'm going to step in. I'm here for you guys, not for myself. If he's there for the guys, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem, a big problem. But if he come in and he trying to do everything, but I don't think Butler going, you know, will allow that. But, I mean, he got to step in. And with everything, even off an injury, you got to step in before you get back. I mean, unless it's the coach's decision. You still got to know your role. You got to look at the landscape of what's going on, how these guys playing without you. What can you do to help them? You know, what can you do? What can they do to help you, you know, transition back into being right back at the top? Because even though you injured or came off an injury, you're not fully healed. You just good enough to play.
Exactly.
So you still probably going to be, you know, we all had ankle injuries and came back. And you know how that first stepping on the court is until you get comfortable or whatever. So if he get back and he comfortable off the injury, I wasn't sure what the injury was. I forgot what it was. But if he come back and, you know, of course they're going to welcome him back. And it's all up to them how they're going to play. He might come back off an injury and they might be inspired. That's what you don't want to happen.
Yeah.
So if they get inspiration, that's going to be tough.
That's another shooter too.
Yeah.
That's another shooter.
Yep.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic of shooters, Duncan Robinson. You know, Coach, because Duncan Robinson, we're talking about a kid that started his career at D3 playing.
Yeah, they was talking about him last night.
You know, Coach, something got to be said about this, because if you look at a lot of the leaders of the NBA, you know, Steph Curry, overlooked, you know, high school player, college, you know, of course he earned his stripes in the March Madness games and things like that, but clearly overlooked, undersized. Even Jimmy wasn't, you know, a standout guy too much at Marquette. He also, I believe, went to junior college, if I'm not mistaken, at some point.
Yeah, I think he did.
And the list goes on. Kawhi Leonard, San Diego State, you know, Spurs, you know, really snuck that one in.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, if you really look at, I mean, the guards over there with the Blazers, both of those guys were overlooked. You know, Lillard. I mean, if you really look at the league and you got all of these guys, you know, as stars, and what does that say about the so-called stars, high school stars? college D1 stars, because again, Duncan Robinson, D3, how in the world did he get here in NBA Finals, showing up and showing out against LeBron James? What can you say to that, about this whole high school, college star thing, that doesn't seem to be real if we're really looking at the facts here?
I guess those guys didn't take any days off, and they was hungry. I mean, if you hungry, you can get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got like some people, like a lot of athletes these days growing up now, they being entitled. They don't want to go to certain places, and everybody think that if you go to a big school, you're gonna be successful. That's not it. It's the person that makes you successful, not the school. You plan for the school, but at the same time, you're going to get noticed. And a long time ago, I heard a person say, if you can play, they'll find you. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So all these kids, and even with the rush of all of, they saying about our minorities going back to historically Black colleges. When you think about it, when the football players, the Ed Deacon Jones, I've never seen him play. I just saw a lot of highlights. Yeah. But you like, yeah, this guy a monster. Where he come from? Oh, he came from HBCU. That's what they was doing. So it don't matter where you go, it's you. David, when Steph Curry was at Davidson, that's the first time I knew Curry had a son. But then when I saw him play against Georgetown, because that's my team, I was like, man, he lighting us up. I said, I could see him playing pro. He's skinny right now, but people are, oh, he too small, he too this. But people forget Reggie Miller was 6'7" and weighed 190 pounds. If I don't even know if he even cracked 200. Now, how was he too skinny? He was a dog.
Yeah, Reggie was a dog.
Reggie Miller, get it done. So you can't, size doesn't matter. You can be big or whatever, and they think, I don't know, people just putting out these false narratives about what athletes should look like. Nah, it's the skills. Yeah. And that's what's getting it done. Even though Reggie went to a good college, but still, he was overlooked a little bit.
I can agree to that.
Let them keep overlooking them. Let these guys, they forget, and I'm going to use an old 76 Rocky movie. They gave him a shot in what he do. Even though it's fictional, they gave him a shot. He took it. He got it. And what happened? And that's what these guys doing. They fighting. They going to keep fighting until it's over.
Yeah, man. I love it. Hope like a true coach, man.
Yeah.
Look, Jimmy Butler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Win or lose, with this finals right here, whether they win or lose, where do you rank Jimmy Butler now in this, top players of the league, list? Where is Jimmy? Is he in your top 5? Is he top 10? Where is Jimmy on your list?
So far for right now, since the season was cut short, we weren't able to see a lot of what we usually see. I say Jimmy shot up from when they opened the bubble. I mean, he just been doing everything he was supposed to do. He's carrying a team. He got his teammates. He pushing them. Mm-hmm. So to me, his whole character shot him up just by doing what he's doing, win or lose. I say he up there in the top 5. I mean, of course, you got your LeBrons, your ADs. I still put Steph Curry up there, even though he ain't last that long, because Steph Curry, he just do what he always does. He's very consistent with his game. So, but I put Jimmy right up there. I mean, you put Jimmy on any other team, and he doing like that, yeah, you got trouble. You got trouble on your hands. And then he got his skill set is tough, And he another one with no days off. You can just tell by the way he played. He probably practiced that way. So it's going to be tough to stop him next year. Next year, he probably be, if he lose this year, win or lose, next year, I think he's going to come out like a crazed tiger ready to eat somebody. I think he's going to be worse next year in a good way, especially if they put some more people around him.
Oh, I agree. And I wouldn't doubt, Pat Riley.
Oh, yeah.
Around,
mm-hmm.
We know what Pat, I mean, history speaks for itself.
Right. That's his ace card. I forgot about Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Pat Riley know how to win championships.
Yeah, and he real clever about it, because he stayed quiet, You don't hear too much from him, you know.
Yeah, he's slick.
Yeah, but his name ringing bells all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, at this point of the show, we need to know your prediction. How's this thing going to end?
After last night, it's hard to say. I'm a Lakers fan. I've been a Lakers fan since Magic got there. And I'm always going to pull for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I'm still pulling for the Lakers, but they're making it hard for me to say they're going to win it. But, I mean, if Miami have another performance like that, I expect a Game 7.
So, Lakers,
hopefully,
Lakers 7?
I would say if Miami have another performance like that, Lakers in 7. And then what I like, though, is nobody really paying attention to. There's no home court advantage.
I love
so
it.
Nobody said nothing about home court. So it's no home court advantage. So it's almost like being on the playground. You win or you go home. And so that's what I really like about it. I really like that about it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I want to see Miami win, and I hate to say that because I'm a Lakers fan, because I want to see it go down to a Game 7, because that's when everybody gonna come out and everybody got to play extra hard for something. You know, everybody got bond together for that last game. So I kind of want to see a Game 7, but I want to see my Lakers pull it off, you know, and close the door on them and get the championship.
Well said, Coach. A Game 7, I think we all want to see that, you know, for the most part, because it's been entertaining. Hey, look, Coach, it's been great. It's been a great conversation. Appreciate you coming on once again. Listen, everybody. This is Finalized, and I'm your host, Darnell Oaks, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, now.